Hi everyone, welcome back to another tier list video. Today I'll be ranking conspiracy theories. We're gonna get conspiratorial, but we can't talk too loud because they are listening. We can't let them hear what we're doing. Okay, so what do we got here? There's a lot of good ones on here. We have the moon landing. The moon landing conspiracy theory claims that some or all elements of the Apollo program and the associated moon landings were hoaxes staged by NASA. My personal opinion of this for the longest time was, we went to the moon. I just believed the mainstream. We went to the moon and it was a glorious day for America. I'm not American, I'm Canadian. And even that had me stoked. But the more I've become jaded about the world and the more I've learned about how the world works, it makes me way more open to the idea that the moon landing could have been staged. It could be possible, right? I'm not super gung-ho about the moon landing is fake for sure. I am slightly doubtful that we faked the entire thing. I mean, who's we? I didn't fake anything. But the people in charge, that NASA and the government, faked the whole thing. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but a lot of people are criticizing the footage of the moon landing, saying that something just looks off and fake and sort of early Hollywood practical effects about the whole moon landing. So what I think is actually believable is that we actually did go to the moon, but they didn't have enough material to sort of sell this American propaganda piece, so they hired filmmakers. I've also heard this theory that Stanley Kubrick helped them create the moon landing footage. I can see that being a thing. So I would say that it is believable. Aliens exist is the next one. I'm open to the idea that aliens could exist, although I have not been convinced that they do. Logically speaking, you could say that the universe is so big and it's very self-important to believe that we are the only people in the entire universe, the only intelligent life form. But you could also say that since they haven't reached out to us yet, that's proof that they are not there. So am I doubtful that aliens exist? I would say it could be possible. Are we talking about super intelligent aliens that are more advanced than us, or are we talking about some space slug on a rock somewhere? Because I do think that could be possible. In fact, it's almost believable that that type of life outside of planet Earth exists, but intelligent life that's more intelligent than us, or the same level of intelligence and advancement technologically as us, it could be possible. The dead internet. The dead internet theory is a conspiracy which asserts that since around 2016, the internet has consisted mainly of bot activity and automatically generated content manipulated by algorithmic curation as part of a coordinated and intentional effort to control the population and minimize organic human activity. What I would say about the dead internet theory is that it jumped the gun a little bit. I wouldn't say that since 2016 it's been mainly bot traffic, but it certainly seems that way in 2025. If you've ever been on Twitter or landed in the YouTube comment section of any popular channel, you'll see so many bot comments, it's insane. So I would say it is all but certain. I'm gonna put the dead internet theory in the A tier because it's only a matter of time before it becomes completely true and it becomes S tier. I honestly think it's only a few years before the internet becomes basically unusable and you'd be a fool to even be on here. I think people are just gonna have to default to like iMessage and group chats, but like comment sections, forget it. Sites like Reddit will become extinct, bots will be posting on there and bots will be commenting on there, and they already do a lot. Shilling certain perspectives, really skewing the public narrative. I believe all of this. So I think it's all but certain that the internet is very close to being completely dead, but it is certainly dying. Okay, next we have chemtrails. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous. See, I don't like it when it already says that it's erroneous on Wikipedia. Why are you automatically saying that it's erroneous? Don't look into this, guys. We decided for you that it's false. Already off to a suspicious start. Is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails, consisting of chemical or biological agents. But here's the thing though, I'm pretty sure that cloud seeding is real. Cloud seeding is a weather modification technique used to enhance precipitation, typically increasing rainfall or snowfall. Apparently that's a conspiracy, but that's true, that's proven. Around where I'm from, there'll be a hot summer day and then you'll see the airplane go over and then all of a sudden you wait like an hour and it's an overcast day. I'm pretty sure that's what cloud seeding is, and I think it's real. As for all the other stuff, that'll knock it down a bunch of grades, because if we were just talking about cloud seeding, I would say that's solid as a rock. But I think mixed in with this conspiracy is just a lot of other, psychological manipulation, human population control. We're just gonna go with could be possible. 9/11 is an inside job. Oh boy. Now, do I give my real opinion on this, or do I give a YouTube safe opinion? I'll let you guys figure out which opinion I'm actually giving here. I'm gonna say that 9/11 being an inside job could be possible. What? So I think this is a perfect time to give you guys maybe not my exact opinion on 9/11 being an inside job, because truthfully, I don't really know, and nobody really knows except the people on top. But what I will give you is one of my fundamental beliefs about how the world works, and that is that your government doesn't care about you. You're just a number to them. You're a taxpayer. And likewise, large, faceless, nameless corporate entities, they don't care about you either. And those two forces are the people who run the world. What they care about is money and power and influence. These types of people are already killing people and torturing people all around the world. There's slave labor. And people think like, oh, my government wouldn't do that to me. It's like, well, if they can do it to a whole bunch of other people all around the world, why couldn't they do that to you? Humans are humans. Everybody has the same value. So think about that. With all of that in mind, it's impossible to say with certainty that you're doubtful that 9/11 was an inside job. I think it has to go and could be possible. Aspects of it are indeed believable. I'm so jaded with global politics that I'm on the acceptance stage of the 5 stages of grief. I think that most people live in denial of the truth. The truth is just that the world that you live in is the matrix. The things that most people think are important, like their favorite sports team or the Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything that's part of this capitalistic machine, is not real life. It's a world that was created for you by people who profit off of you. And it's not to say that any of these things are inherently bad, they're just part of the simulation. I think that the vast majority of people think all of these on the list are just crazy people talk, and it makes me uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna watch my Marvel movie and collect my 58th Funko Pop and then go to sleep in my Superman pajamas. So with that in mind, it's really nice to end up at the acceptance phase where you realize that higher level, and then you stop being interested in fighting amongst your friends and family if they share a different political opinion than you, because it's like, no, this is a fake argument. This doesn't mean anything. But I've definitely been in the depressive part of that. You realize that the world is far more evil than you thought it was, and it makes you very depressed for a long time. But then you just learn to accept it. Then you go back to watching your sports teams and buying your Funko Pops, realizing like, what else am I gonna do, right? So you gotta just live a good life. You gotta just chill. Watch a stupid video like this one, or make a stupid video like this one. Flat Earth. This is the first one that I am personally pretty doubtful about. I've heard decently convincing arguments for the Flat Earth theory, but not arguments that don't fall apart under even just the littlest bit of scrutiny. The amount of people that would have to be in on knowing that the Earth is flat but holding it from the public is just too much. Every pilot in the sky, every boater in boats, there's probably a long list of professions that would have to know this and then just not be whistleblowing about it. And the thing about whistleblowers, as we know, is if whistleblowers are blowing the whistle about something that's actually true, they typically die. Boeing. I would never kill myself, by the way. But yeah, all these people blowing the whistle on the fact that the Earth is flat, nothing happens to them. I kind of get the flat Earth theory. It's like question everything, and I dig it. I dig the sentiment, but as a literal belief you should hold and take literally, I think it's kind of bananas, which is why I'm going to put the flat Earth theory in doubtful. Okay, lost civilization. Now this is one I fuck with. I think that it is all but certain that there has been a lost chapter in our human civilization story. At least one that differs from the widespread mainstream narrative. Look no further than Göbekli Tepe, because Göbekli Tepe has been dated to 11,600 years ago. It's 7,000 years older than the Egyptian pyramids and 6,000 years older than Stonehenge. And the crazy thing is, they believed that Egypt was the first civilization, like the first true advanced civilization. And then they uncover some rock somewhere and they're like, holy smokes, this is way older and just as advanced. And I'm pretty sure they've only discovered 5% of Göbekli Tepe and they stopped excavating. There's 95% of it still underground, but they've decided that they're not going to excavate it anymore. The archaeological dig is done, and they're just going to set up a gift shop up there, and it's going to become this attraction. They're not going to touch it, and they have no plans to touch it in the future. How crazy is that? Why? And that really gets me thinking about how our understanding of history even works. You uncover some things, say you discover Egypt, and you're like, oh man, Egypt exists. This is the oldest thing we've ever found. So then you create this whole theory about where we came from. People who were originally part of the discovery of Egypt get promoted and then get named as chairman of this Egypt Society, and then once he's chairman, he funds other research and other archaeological digs that help confirm his theory. And then there's this bias, weird like confirmation that like, yep, this is how history works now, right? Because the experts said that it's true. And then someone discovers Göbekli Tepe and they say, this doesn't make any sense. Egypt can't be the first civilization because what about all this other stuff? It makes you wonder how many other things have been discovered but have not gotten funding. How many very inconvenient truths have we found that go against mainstream knowledge about how old civilization is? Once you start following the principle, follow the money, you realize that people in charge of anything want to stay in charge of that thing, so they will uphold a narrative. I'm a big believer in the lost civilization theory. I would say it is all but certain, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes solid as a rock, but I am pretty certain on this one. Phones listening. I would say that it's believable that your phones are listening to you. They certainly do. If you have Siri active and you say, hey Siri, how's it going, bro?
Sorry, I can't help with that. You can learn more about logging your health data with Siri at apple.com.
Apple fucking sucks, bro. But yeah, they are listening. If they can do that, they are listening. It's just a matter of like, what are they doing with that data? People sell your data to sell you ads, to make money off you, to farm you. I might even say this is solid as a rock because me just talking to Siri proved that. But to what extent and to what end are they listening? JFK cover-up. I don't really know too much about the JFK cover-up. I would say it's very believable. That's just sort of my gut reaction. He was really outspoken against the CIA, and it just makes sense that the CIA would kill him. So I think the JFK cover-up is absolutely possible. Of course, they released the JFK files, but they also released the Epstein tapes, and we all know how believable those were. Makes you question the JFK files as well. They release what they want to release. They show you what they want to show you. So I would just say that the JFK cover-up is believable, but I would need to know more about it. We're gonna go with celebrity cults. This one's a bit more vague. I would say that celebrity cults are all but certain. It's just a matter of who is in them. As we know with the Epstein situation, there is a protected group of pedophiles that exist, and we know they exist, and everybody's mad because they're being covered up and you're not allowed to know who they are. I would say that's the celebrity cult. It's a protected group of people who do things that the rest of society would get thrown in prison for, but they are protected, so they don't get thrown in prison. They're beyond it. They don't follow the same rules as us. I would say it's all but certain. It's just we're never going to have definitive proof because the person who puts the stamp of definitiveness, they have control over, right? We're not going to get a Wikipedia page with everybody who's visited Epstein Island on it. It's just never gonna happen. Time travel pics. I don't think time travel is real. If time travel was real, eventually you would get somebody who's extremely successful and makes all the right stock moves, and they would say they're from the future. But the only people who say they're from the future are crackheads outside of 7-Eleven. So how come those are the only ones who say they're from the future and are capable of time travel? I think that time travel in general is doubtful. Big Brother watching you, I would say that's all but certain, potentially even solid as a rock. Just look up Palantir, look up Peter Thiel. It's a reality. You're being spied on, your information is being sold to third parties. That's why you get so many ads that feel particular. All these ads are based on every YouTube video you've ever watched. The time you stop scrolling on Instagram and you linger on a certain photo and you keep on moving on, that's more information. You probably don't have like 16 different government agents talking about you in particular because they don't really care about you. Unless you start speaking up, gaining influence and power, and then have the wrong opinion, then they'll start to care about you. Then they will flex those Big Brother muscles and take you down. So yeah, they have the information, but since you're probably an average person, probably just basic data farming, I would say that's solid solid as a rock. Globalist elite is the reason why Big Brother exists. It's why your phones are listening to you. It's why celebrity cults are a thing, because there absolutely is a globalist elite. It is my firm belief that the world is run by staggeringly few people, far fewer people than we've been led to believe. I do think there are teams, and those teams play out on a global scale, but it's hard to really figure out who's on what team. And then finally, this whole thing is a simulation anyways, so it doesn't matter. I'm personally doubtful that this whole thing is a simulation. I would say it could be possible because anything's possible. I have had those thoughts. It's not my personal belief that this is a simulation, and this is a tier list about my personal belief. So the simulation hypothesis proposes that our reality, including a universe and everything within it, could be an advanced computer simulation. This idea suggests that a technologically advanced civilization might have created a simulated reality indistinguishable from our own. Yeah, it's basically just the Matrix, right? Like we're plugged into some feeding tubes, we're being farmed for meat juice, and everything that you know and love and every person that you know and love is just binary code. But that's just depressing, and I'm in the acceptance phase of this. Maybe it's major cope, but I just don't feel like that's true, so I'm just gonna keep it in doubtful because it helps me sleep at night. I hope you enjoyed this rundown conspiracy lane. How do you guys think I did? Do you think I'm just batshit insane? Or do you kind of agree with me in a sick kind of way? And if you missed the last video, you can check that out right here. See ya.